Log recording continuation, 5:25 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. It's still the 7th of August, 2023, the Weaver Gen C, Rosemary, California. Not alive, not awake, and definitely a zombie this morning. Yeah, that's about me. Growling my head off its shit to this morning. I'm not even alive or awake for this crap going on, you know? I'm really not. But I gotta deal with this shit. I just looked at the power bill that I gotta deal with during this August. Sorry. Ugh. On his last night of going through an old fart system, so yeah, it's Fart City at this point. Wake you up and gross you out yet? Good. Welcome to my world. So when dealing with this, not with the onions, but waking up to bills being out there, I knew that once we had the temperature ranges kicking our asses one way or another, we are so screwed it's not even funny. I was just trying to get the other computer to work up and wake up so I can get it going and not stress about the damn shit. This morning I am trying to get myself going so I can listen to the political rhetoric and the political jabberjawing. You see that they're going to be talking about the old Trump head again. I really need to listen to this crap in the morning, and yet, while a certain political party currently inside the White House trying to make things better for everybody, the other political party right now is determined to make life miserable for everybody else. How does that grab you? It doesn't grab me good because now I got to deal with that crap and this crap and everything else. How's that? Oh, no, no, no. I didn't hear this and I didn't read this one here. Tommy Tuberville. Mm-hmm. Schmuck. Exactly. Listen to MSNBC this morning. Ooh. Maybe. Sometimes I couldn't deal with CNN, so I had to switch to MSNBC. This is this morning. Some people don't feel it. Campaign, I know that. He comes out with this. Gone to the dark side. It's delusional now. No way I can get a free trial. Hope you're watching America. Good lord. Why they're going to talk about this damn thing. Get my own 2 cents on here before I hear these guys bouncing off like crazy. As much as I like to hear some of it, but at times, no. Now, basically, what I discovered a long time ago regarding old Trump face here, the old gas bag, he likes to blow off hot air, tries to show himself he's one of the people. The problem is he's showing up to be one of the gangsters out there. I'll say it. I know there's people watching me and thinking I'm just a full and idiot, libtard, Democrat, and old Biden lover. I support Democrats to a point in the leader, but There are questionable things our leaders do. But when they start attacking people left and right, when they try to show that they're better than everybody else by denigrating people left and right, is that a mark of a good leader? Come on. Use your common sense at this point. A former leader. I'd seen a lot of former leaders in my past, growing up, seeing these guys, and I don't get it with these guys. I really don't. These days, compared to back then, they had a lot more respect, a lot more respect for each other back then than they do right now. It's dog eat dog world. It's been like that for about 20, 25 years already. So how do we supposed to be dealing with this crap? When Trump says, no, I'm going to go after people who are going after me. He sounds like those damn gangsters that kept trying in those cases back in New York. We'd hear about it here in the West Coast, either by press, by my media. And it's like, what are you trying to do? The Godfather or something like that? I got things I want to do at this point. I'm Donald Trump. You're going to listen to me because I say so. And you're going to tell these guys how we're going to do this. He comes across as a movie figure. Yeah, he knows how to play it up on the television like crazy. It's part of the Shark Tank stuff that he's doing. You got to get the investments from Donald J. Trump. I wonder how many people have tried to sue this guy for not carrying out, for not following through. That would have been civil cases right there in court. That would have been something. But we never hear anything about it. No settlements, no paybacks or payouts. So he dabbles in this stuff. He dabbles with everybody else, including, I think, in my own personal opinion, without any evidence to correspond this one and corroborate. However, my own gut feelings, Donald J. Trump has been dealing with gang members. Gangsters, actually. Hell, if he likes the autocratic assholes out there outside our country who wants to see America collapse, all he wants is the frickin' money and the fame, and that's about it. While he's getting his fame, he's royally getting his fame. He's getting his butt kicked in court. And they haven't even started the court proceedings on that one. Just one personal one going after him. And everyone else is getting their chops slicked. And they're thinking, okay, now we can go after Trump. His supporters are going, no, 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 it's a left-wing conspiracy, nut jobs. Let's blame it on them. No, I blame it on Trump and his mouth and his actions at this point over here, because that's how the law looks at the damn thing. And that's what they're going to do. Trump's going to be denying the orders of a judge. He's going to get his ass kicked royally. Now, here's the thing. When he was in office, and they tried to do the impeachment, the supporters would not get him fully impeached and kicked out. They wouldn't. He had that much of an influence on him. It's like that much of a gangster influence on him. So he threatened every one of his sycophants out there, his followers out there. And they still are trembling because he's still calling the shots one way or another. We've never been in a contentious situation like this. And what they brought up, let me see. Trump's, no, let's see. What was I about to say? McCarthy. Yeah, that asshole. Okay. The asshole that represents Kern County and my hometown, unfortunately. He kept bringing up Hillary Clinton and Al Gore. And history proves, and we got records on this damn thing. When Hillary Clinton was in there, they were discrediting her ass with the Benghazi hearing. It was just to discredit her, and he said it on record. My own damn representative said it on record. He flip-flops like crazy. He lies his ass off. He lies his ass off. She got discredited. She couldn't keep up. She couldn't. Her polls were going down. Trump's went up, and he got in office. Popular vote would have put Hillary in, but didn't. Electoral College put Trump in. And he goes tearing things apart left and right of democracy. Al Gore in 2000, when he was going against Herbert Walker Bush, and lost. He took his case all the way to the Supreme Court and had to concede when the court said, no, you lost. So he conceded, but he went through the legal system. He wasn't belly aching to every state attorney general or controller or anybody else out there controlling all the ballots. He wasn't belly aching making terms or anything else like that. He was going through the legal process, going through the federal district, appellate, and then the Supreme, and then stopped because Supreme said enough. And he values the law. And I think he was a lawyer at one time. So he understood it. Hillary understood it. She wasn't going to deal with any more of the damn political crap. She was getting out of it. She didn't pursue it. Unlike Trump, which kept saying, everything's rigged! Despite the fact he won the 2016, and he still said that the whole thing was rigged. And then in 2020, still screaming. And then everyone else going, it's been rigged! He didn't win! And every damn court system, every federal district and appellate, and even Supreme Court said, knock this shit off. Right now, it's becoming a feeding frenzy for the far right, for the Trumplicans, for the so-called Republicans in office. I call them Trumplicans as well. They're following, but they're not acting what they used to be acting like a long time ago because those guys are already long gone now. We just got the Trumplicans in there. So this is what's happening these days. How are we supposed to deal with this? I don't know. I don't know what the answer for all this stuff is. But I know all these people are screaming and yelling and complaining about how things are wrong and they should be changed. Okay, fine. Change it legally. And other people are trying to curtail people's rights to vote. Well, we got the right, but we can't vote. Period. They're curtailing knowledge from people of our past, curtailing people's right to their own body. It's going to take decades for us to get this stuff sorted out, if it ever gets sorted out. And as usual in my other videos, I kept blaming the voters because they're the ones who keep voting these assholes in. They have to research whether or not their particular state can actually do election recalls. Local ones, yeah. I know Florida can do the local ones, but not the governor. They got to wait until the next session comes in before they can get rid of his ass. But by that time, is he going to be going in office, or is he just going to be just being an asshole in his own office? And if they can get rid of him, then they're going to have to do a hell of a lot of damage control to fix things. It's a hell of a world we got to live in, isn't it? We also got to deal with people who like to see our democracy fall and fail. And then we got people blaming, and more blaming. But nobody accepts responsibility. Nobody takes accountability. Nobody wants to be transparent about it. We'd like to see our government completely transparent about a lot of things at this point over here. I mean, it will be nice, but the problem is, since you're dealing with governments who are dealing with other governments, we got to do things off the table and away from the public eye. How things get done is usually in the shadows or in the gray areas. To me, the most famous one was the 13 Days of October, they called it. 1962. We almost came that close to nuking ourselves and everybody else in extinction. And if it wasn't through the backroom channels and the chatter and working through things like that, we wouldn't be alive. Other things should have been taken care of a lot better. but they weren't. Benghazi is because of defunding. Didn't have the personnel for the State Department needed for the security over there, and had 4 guys killed already, which sucked. Okay, one more thing before I get the hell out of here. We've got Trump's attorney and the House Democrats want the trial be televised. We want it held to be accountable and transparent at this point. Federal laws right now and the federal court systems usually don't do this. We are talking about we're talking about the trial of the century, of the millennium at this point over here, as they're trying to tout it, because they want to put Trump on public. And I think we're going to need to get this thing going this way. I really do. It sucks, but we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to. The judge. Hang on a second. I'm trying to get my brain working here. The Chief Justice, or the Chief Judge, is going to have to make the ruling. Whether or not it's going to be allowed this time because of the situation, but they're going to be starting up a precedent. And they're not quite sure if they want to continue to do that because there'll be other people saying the same thing. I want to have my federal court on trial. I want it publicized. No, I want to publicize. I want to publicize. This is the thing that they're going to be having a problem with because now they got to think of it. They want to put Trump on trial. They want to put it public. But it's the legal questions at this point. Should they or should they not? Because they'll be setting up a standard that'll be otherwise. I mean, there were courts back in the 20th century, late 20th century, when they actually did have the cameras and the tape recorders ready to go. And yes, some of the court trials weren't on trial. They didn't do it 24/7 on this one. We didn't do it because of the other trials we had, and that's the problem. Here's the thing. We had 4 officers in the Rodney King trial being put into superior criminal of the California state. Now, granted, I am not a lawyer, but I've seen too much and I've heard too much, so I'm trying to gather as much information as I can and can remember about this one, because the state of California had this televised, and the other stations picked up on it, on how 4 officers got off and started riots, in a way. I mean, their beating of a guy, caught on video camera. There's one guy who was, I think Reginald Denny, I think he was, filming this outside his home, his apartment in Sun Valley. 4 officers beating the crap out of Rodney King, a black guy, who was pulled over because he was drunk and driving stupid. And he had cops chasing his ass like crazy until finally he pulls over. And then when the heat of the battle, got pissed off enough that they took their vent in the range on the guy. Caught on camera. Made nationwide, international at this point. And the court system in the state of California at that time made allowances to have this trial publicized because it was that well known. They had to have it on trial. They had to make an example on these officers. And they were acquitted afterwards. There was weeks of testimony. There was weeks of evidence. There was weeks of this stuff. And then it hit. And the shit hit the fan. We had the O.J. Simpson trial. Again, Superior Court. Not federal, Superior. Lower ranks. They allowed the camera. Because we're dealing with O.J. Simpson, the star. The federal district courts have never, as far as I can understand, and so as the historians will tell you, had things publicized like this. We want accountability at this point. The elections were getting screwed over left and right that would have been stolen. We would have had constitutional issues left and right. So naturally, the House Democrats want blood on this one. They want to put Trump up on a public trial. But is it going to be needed or not? We want to see accountability. The people are going to feel cheated one way or another. The judge is going to have to make this thing carefully at this point over here. What about future events that are going to be affected by this one here? The other lower ones, the other lower cases of non-existent people? Yes, I did say that, didn't I? Because you're not on a totem pole. You're not on a high totem pole like Trump is. He gets the honor and glory. He wants the camera on his ass in this one. If the judge says no, how is the country going to be reacting to it? Are they going to be sleeping through this one? Or are they actually going to be going up in arms and marching through the streets and marching to the Capitol or marching to the Supreme Court or somewhere? Just marching and saying, you can't do that to us. We demand. I said a long time ago that I think we need to have it on tape. We need to have him on camera. He wants to be the performance. He wants to be the star. He wants to use and control it. And if the law says yes, he thinks he's going to win at this point because he's going to be controlling the narrative, when actually the judge is going to be controlling the narrative, and so is the prosecution. They got to make the case in front of the people. They have to make this case in front of the people. They got to make the people aware about it. We already had a January 6th commission who showed all the people involved in this situation and interviewed a lot of people who are involved in this. And other people that they tried to get are still squeamish about it and still bitching and griping about it.
Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let's not go through this again. No, 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 no. Let's not go through this again. You can't do this to me. No, 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 no. You can't do this to me. I'm in charge now. I'm in charge now.
So now, we've got House Democrats telling the House Republicans, this is going to be on trial. This is going to be bringing up people.
No, you can't do that because you can't do this to me. Don't you know I'm an important politician over here? I'm a Republican. I want a whistleblower. I want weaponization. I want. Don't you understand what's going on at this point over here?
So are the Republicans going to say in the House that they don't want this? Because it might expose them or embarrass the living crap out of them? Probably. And the House wants to do it because they want to tell the people what the hell's going on. With all these damn theatrics that the House of Representatives Republican side or Trumplican side has been putting people through left and right just to prove their own damn case for showmanship. They really don't care about running a damn country. They just want to be on camera.
So look how wonderful we are. I blame everybody. Everybody's out to get us. We got to be put together. It's their fault.
They're reliving the McCarthy era again, all over again in late 50s? Yeah, late 50s on that one. Or televising it. McCarthyism. They wanted to make sure that everybody was pure American and not a communist. Well, guess what we got right now, boys and girls? Now we got this crap going on. Now how the hell we solve this shit? So, do we put Trump on public trial or not? If we don't put him on trial, as I said before, there's a precedent being set here. The local states, the local jurisdictions may. That's up to them. But the federal, if they hadn't done it for a hell of a long while, why does she break it right now? Because he's Donald Trump? Because he was former president? Because he did a hell of a lot of heinous stuff? There's a lot of things happening in the court system that isn't publicized enough. They don't allow cameras, but they do allow audio recordings that they release all the time. The appellate court just releases the rulings. We don't see anything happens with the appellate court. Nothing on camera, nothing on tape. Nothing that anybody else can research except through the transcripts being released. And in the lower district courts, what we have right now, there has not been, according to my knowledge, as I understand it, any publicity concerning about a federal court that had been televised. There's no trial out there televised on this one. But now we got to make a precedent because he is Donald Trump, because he did try to screw over the country, because of a massive conspiracy at this point over here. What do we do? I don't know. Tell you the truth, I honestly, God, I don't know. Would I want to see it? Well, if I'm going to be listening to Donald Trump doing his mouth off, I know the district court won't, the judge won't allow that to happen. They'll allow the Jerry here testimony, video, they'll see. Um, Witnesses, if any. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't want to see a public bloodbath on that? But how is this going to be affecting everybody else down the road? We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about Trump. No, because if you're the judge and you're chief judge, you're going to have to start thinking more and more on this one. We're opening up a Pandora's box on this one. Yes, we need to see accountability at this point. But we're not willing to race and face any appraisals. He's already got a few more people. Trump's got to go through getting his ass reamed in the court systems, local areas, and maybe a federal or two. So this is going to be insane. So now, what we got? We don't know what we got, to tell you the truth. All we know is we're going to be putting a former president with everything else he's been accused of and caught on record and caught on tape, recorded, and witnessed against. We want to see this. We want to see accountability. We want to see transparency. We want to see responsibility. If it's going to be allowed in an exceptional situation at this point over here, is this going to be setting up a precedent down the road? What would be the criteria? What would be the bar set on this? Hefty and heady to think about, isn't it?